here. This is a really exciting day for us here at NYU Creative Writing Program. I'm Jerome Murphy. I manage the undergraduate program here, and fans of the undergrad program. So I just want to say on behalf of our director, Deborah Landau, and our reading series manager, Joanna Yaz, and Soren Stockman, our events people, we welcome you. We are thrilled, absolutely thrilled, to have a black lace bra kind of woman with us today. One of my favorite writers, Sandra Cisneros, and Victor Hernandez Cruz is here. And I just briefly, I'll get out of the way, just briefly want to quote a few lines of one of my favorite poems by Sandra, A Man in My Bed Like Cracker Crumbs, where she says, you know, the coffee is good, the dust notes somersault and spin, house clean, I'm alone again, amen. And I just love that she can capture that sort of sacred in the everyday, and you know, the sort of, just the religious and spiritual quality of writing, but you know, that aloneness, I mean, we're never alone with writers like this, you know? They create community. So without further ado, I'll introduce one of our graduate students in poetry. That's Jess Rizkallaha, to introduce our writers today.
Hi. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool. Victor Hernandez Cruz is a poet, essayist, and author of collections like Snaps, Red Beans, Beneath the Spanish, The Mountain in the Sea, Maraca, and more. His awards include fellowships from the Guggenheim Foundation and the National Endowment for the Arts. He is known as one of the founders of the Nuyorican School of Poetry, one that is still thriving today. Cruz is from Puerto Rico and came to New York City at age 5, and has also lived in Morocco and California and many other places in his travels. The perpetual homing and rehoming he has experienced in his life is evident in the double exposure effect of histories, languages, and sound that have descended over the physical landscapes he writes into. In much of his writing, he creates his own country in the space between his cultures and languages. We follow him through temporal shifts as the importance of remembering the past is stressed throughout his work, even if not explicitly stated. In Snaps of Immigration, he writes, "The past was dissolving like sugar at the bottom of a coffee cup. And as we read, the sweetness lingers even after we close the book. We remember." There's a sensation in his poetry that the natural world is breaking through the concrete to rupture what we see into something etymological. From beneath the ice, from beneath the cement, from beneath the tar, from beneath the pipes and wires came the cuckoo of the roosters. And when I read that, I find myself transported to my own etymology. A valley in the Levant with roosters and wrought iron windows and a swing chair from which an elder poet who shares my blood sways and speaks to me of language and lineage, the way survival lives in music. Indeed, Cruz writes, "The people survive with the beauty of the song. People wrote letters as if they were writing the scriptures. Men made ink out of love and saw their sweethearts wearing yellow dresses." Though my own bilingual existence is different from Cruz's, through his art he opens doors into his multiplicities and I feel at home inside his words. This speaks to the warmth and truth found there. In an essay he wrote dissecting and praising the work of Juan Felipe Herrera, Victor Hernandez Cruz says, "Poetry is the flowers which grow out of experience." And what an abundant garden he has given us and continues to tend, especially now as our world needs poetry most.
I think it's a good light here. I don't need these. I thought I could hand it. Let's see if I can see and look. Yeah, I think that'll be good. No, I have mine on right here.
We have a light on the phone.
No, I can see because the windows open here behind me. Good light. Good light. Bueno, ¿cómo está todo el mundo? I slept not too good last night. Was up all night trying to communicate with Puerto Rico. I communicated with Nestor Bajeto, my friend. He's in the San Juan area, and he told me it was like Santa Clara in the last century. I was in Puerto Rico for Hugo and for George, but those were category 3. And Maria was between 4.5 and 5, and that was it. So I know it's gonna take them forever to recuperate. I was like, "Is it okay?"
Just trying to raise it up.
But aquí estamos, Puerto Rico y México. Mira qué cosa. Folks are going through a lot of changes. Is that good there?
Yeah, that's better.
Much better. Much better. And can do share some poetry. So it's the fury of nature that we were in it, and that these tragedies.
Si no hablas en el micrófono, close that.
Okay.
Yes.
¿Qué pasó? All right, I'm trying to stay by the mic. I think to weave sometimes too. I will. Rosalie, are you here? They're not here. My friends were out. Bueno, some poetry for nature to calm it down, to be good for us. Because I will dance with you upon a singular and only square tile, till our emotions erase mineral, the sound montuno waving. What made this so great? Not a singularity with it alone, not solely the pulse Africa beat, much more in the melt, in the cooked olla pot burning, Santiago de Cuba, dissolving, no characters alone distinct, but becoming fresh somewhere, arriving, departing, of whom's not known, not the clave alone can flower and flourish, but fusion together the rush of beings, of bees, the guitar swimming through the ñame, the yuca, calabaza, la guitarra, or the once the laúd. Fusion is delight, Caribbean, not multicultures, but erasure, bojate, combine the ingredients, stop being the character you might know, and become the other, as out of the self, another comes. What face is that now? A portrait of everyone at once. Longing for more fulfillment, the fusion suction, la trigueña encarnación, cuando se pone a bailar, see the elbows, legs, features on becoming like nothing, everything. The timba swallows the guitar maracas dissolve, the clave, clock of the sticks, with the griot scratching in the back. Africa, yes, but not the bottom. Spain, not even, but see, yes, for yes. Andalusia. Each place out of self, it, the clave of sub-Sahara, dance, gone, measure, bright in Santiago, Cuba, song. The Orquesta Aragon defines it, explains it to the eyes of your ears, in front of you, broken into pieces, splinters, waves, what Picasso united, form, the fusion complete, dripping, all comes together, that criolla encarnación, part of part, apart, unity together, upon edges, frizzy, liquefied, and who is who now? And who is who now? Far aware the colors of the flowers, flying through the sky, as we dance waist to waist, cheek to cheek, hands moist each other with. We dance upon a singular tile. The complexity starts to shine, suave, electric like the embroidery of the linen white dress, from where caoba flesh bewitches the night. Tum 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 tum, tum 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 tum. The song, the only thing better than the song is sex. After song, sex. Tum 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 tum. Son tum, because I will dance with you on a singular rosetta. Let me go a little bit to the past. Has it been 50 years? 1966 to now, I count. It has, I think, 51. So, hace tiempo que vengo tocando el tambor. Mira, I'm going to share some poems in which are, I think, relevant to Mexico. So in Aurora, Mexico, este poema que yo escribí años atrás, years before, the great comedian Cantinflas. Cantinflas. Montezuma's court jester, Quetzalcoatl's mind. It is everything in us that laughs, the smallest bones align with the verses of necessity. He walks upside down. It's not his pants falling, it's a pyramid rising. What Loqui was at the formation, Oyin movement was his joints flex. Even in terror, I have seen the charm of grace. Lord of movement, dismantling the bourgeoisie, a tortilla in his face. Aztec counterculture going up the elevator, in the squares of buildings, in the Avenida Reforma, Cantinflas struts on the shiny marble floors. His feet talking, his laughter, his language of riddles, the syntax, the grammar arrive as if to rescue the poet exiled from the dictionary. Since Cantinflas is the only man who doesn't have to move or to travel, who doesn't have to move to travel the cosmos, our mestizo jaws go from grin to crackling, peeling in the spreading, and even more than swelling. Without motion, he makes murals of flowers, jaguars, skulls. He pulls out of a clay pot, Egyptian and Toltec theater, alive of humanness, humorous. He gives Charlie Chaplin the America's conquered ridiculous back, an illuminating heart of laughter upon the altar of sacrifice, for we are born for joy. Cantinflas brings the teeth out to overcome the hacienda son of a bitch. We are the earth. He takes us for your gyrations, orbits which expose the king, one pivotal turn in any scene. Spread feathers, wind which strips the patron tuxedo, exposing us all as cookies in the shape of skeletons. Another one with Mexico in mind. I don't know if you read Pedro Páramo. If you haven't read Pedro Páramo, if you read Spanish, bien, it's a good translation of it too in English. I think it's been translated to most of the languages of the world. It's written by a man named Juan Fulfo, who I saluted one time in Paris. He was reading or giving a talk, and I was with some Caribeños, and somehow we managed to get there late. No problem for us. We got there when the thing, not late, we got there cuando se acabó. I mean, we finished. We got there, we found him outside with the people who had organized it. We said, hello, ¿qué pasó? Pues se acabó. Dice, bueno, los saludamos. Los saludé en Paris con una gente. And for a beautiful novel, I'm rereading it now in Morocco, just finished doing that before I came here. And I understand it each time a little better. I have to reread it again, because each time you have the moods and geographies change. The words are the same, but the moods are different. And you have to keep moving around with it, you know. Anyway, Juan Fulfo, the great novel, Pedro Páramo. The little house alone toward the exit of the town makes a sort of sound. It comes from its struggle to hold itself up as if the wood was breathing. A kind of echo, no one is there, yet so many roads come to an end at its door. A man walks down the street just about a skeleton, eyes hungry, a roaming wolf. There's the smell of corn and old woman's hands, along with howling tinted with floral water and candle wax. The other people were all somewhere enclosed. More semblance of shadows, outlines in the miasma of browns. Along the margin of the river, it is all a whirlpool. No one saw anyone else. Some murmurs of language, enough to make a passage through the air of hazy webs, each patch a worse lament. Yet the words are the love licking, yet the words rise, like love licking bones in winter, strong odor of grass which never dies. A charcoal menace, power blend of creatures, a conquest each time, a submission each question, a dialogue of whips, every word, the available air, in a planet where oxygen has been exiled. Enough breath for the bones to continue past the house. Why go there? There's no one there. In the past, only voices are heard. The calcium scraping off the bones. Names which no longer have faces. The future frustrated from so much past. Sometimes on the crust of the earth, there's only sound. ¿Qué calor? ¿Qué tal esta cosa?
Eso me dio aquí, ¿ves?
I live in Morocco, and my son is named Mohammed Amin. My daughter is 4 years old, and she's Afia, fire. Do you want to speak Arabic here? ¿Qué tal? Sabah. And she's Arba'am Deba, and she hits me and everything. And Maria bring her up, you know, and these poems are the Moroccan poems. Sahara is the thought of my word. It has been an infinite fire scratching into the firmament meadows. Does the sand continue into the sky? We are less than what we thought. Hungry scorpion desert of your eyes. Laser beam from the stars are the clocks in the night sky. How they arrange themselves between the windows indicates that it's spring. Amazai are free men and women. Children are the wind. Yes, they have survived. Amazai are the Berbers. They have survived the Latin fish that came out of the sea. That came out of the sea as knives. Stay away from the square form of their houses. Stay streetless under the sky. Close the tents, circular upon the sand, cooking lamb within tangines. In the desert, the horizon is our spice. Berber girls are the most beautiful in Morocco. Necklaces silver like curtains across the cheeks. They move shoulders and bounce buttocks like shaking jello through red argon terrain. She goes penetrated with all gods, a henna of geometry which is so immense to decipher. Possessed with the Ganawa rhythms, that's why from a distance I discount the sand pebbles jumping with the metallic castanets across the curvature of the dunes where the only flowers are the colorful jalebas of the girls waiting as they are eaten by infinity. The dance of blood. The cello of Pablo Caceres has gone walking through an Antillean street, responding to the name of Sonia. The names she steps upon the wires connected and crisscross with the Amazon, sprinkled with with the Berber hip, acquired when she was a guitar, swimming out of the load. Soon after, her black hair is inside the testicles of brutal sailors of the age of exploration, piercing in the air a desire so jasmine, sent there by godly desire. Perhaps one of her strings jumped a square-shaped instrument made camel hide, which went loosed through the Niger River of the Lukumi. When the sun was at such an angle, her shadow fell north into the tiles of a Granada mosque, which was about to become a mosque. As it were, on the tiles of a Granada mosque, which was about to become a church. Adobe wind. Is it La Llorona that soars in the wind through the window pressing like scratch on our moving bones as we pass the Bulgrek River on the bridge that divides Rabat from Sali. All around, seated shadows clutching the bags full of almonds and dates, mint tea. Already, I think I am among the Navajo in Solaris Valley. Is it the same clay flesh? It is the same clay flesh. Geometry I once saw upon a rug hanging in Tucson as evening hugged us. Now we march under the brilliant star sky. Red stone monuments darken as the sky turns pink orange around the edges. We are stopped by a river. We hear the shrill cries of the lady, the same reverberation that fills the Saleh Morocco bound bus, calling us somewhere, calling us somewhere, calling us somewhere else. I finally saw the book. I saw it here on the 15th, a few days ago, and because they didn't send it to me over there in Morocco, but they sent it to my New York address, and I finally saw it, and I'd like to read some things from this new book. I'm going to read some portions of poems and everything. Los marineros had seen Teresa from the ships. Los marineros, immense white sails, no name for her but Lola. Ay, Lola. The night of improv begins, the Andaluz said he waved. Later she dropped her handkerchief. Jose continued, he almost died. Wrapped in an embrace, Gulf of Mexico, Portero, New Orleans, the Afro-Latin metropolis, taking turns with French and Spanish. Was it further south, Havana, Ana, Banana, o Ana, Nama, Noma. Near Ponce, Ajebata, Sandunguera, swaying, dancing, flowing with the saints when they come marching in. Cleansing, water rushing toward the drums. I want to be in that number when the Orishas come marching in. With all that water, hallelujah, to bathe clean, the wash the head of Musica, Cambio Sile, Yare Chango. Tus poems for Puerto Rico. Ay, bendito, Puerto Rico. Born on a turf, a medieval remnant owned by the United States. It was almost water, so minute, the earthen formation, very rock, a swift nausea, a swift natura intention, geologic lift forgot the mudblow. In the rising slow eruption, peep, pop, peep, there it is, Piedra, Caribe, world makers save on the ink. What minuscule elaboration, hidden caves, landscapes, chains of mountains, opening blue sky, neck of sky, mounted glue alongside other Hispano-Caribbean isles, Santo Domingo, embracing Haiti, Cuba, bird, long snake, Spanish-American movements, the Federation, which Betances, the doctor, hoped for, the Antilles Españolas, intellectual political independence, some letter, and there was some letter bestowing Puerto Rico sovereignty for the Spanish crown. The United States has no desire to open that envelope. Betances, visionary mestizo, Paris, his doctor's foot. The epoch of gold, when on the island was with my son, we made home in the neighborhood of the Tabaqueros. I was Buenas, in a street called Antorcha, socialist frame of the independentistas, workers barrio of Chinchales, my family there for generations. The mornings working my son for school, watching him become a man, awakening sense to life. His first girl kisses, that pretty brown girl, primer girlfriend. I spotted them once, wrapped around each other like two bacalaito fritters. Tango. Later, my mother cooked planted red beans and plantain tostones, along with yellow rice. sparkled corn. The island was, for me, always that flavor, that sofrito flavor. Bolero music, and my mother, she grew sadness with the lyrics, wondering of all the love, lost loves, memories, illusions, making efforts to materialize. See them always like bridges hanging out from her eyes. Days were found her in tears, lonely in her room, fragrance of Florida water, circulating blue pork chop, picture of my mother and father above bed. Nothing was ever coming. The only future was the end. The Caribbean is everywhere, lost within us, trapped in quiche, glorious rooms of plasticity, jails, so much grime between the beauty contra la danza. René Marquez, our writer, reached belched out, condenado mal, tanta agua y no limpiará, to the bullets flying now in panoramic tropical scenarios. Mother kept singing as Esperanza gently vibrato, hope like a white garza landing upon a cadaver, humming songs forever, soothing, convinced she would meet everyone she knew in heaven again, singing boleros, café con leche, pastelillos de guayaba. To the bad times, give a happy face, place a red amapola in your black hair, revive the mummies, the dead, burst the bodies out of the coffins. Let's all walk to the plaza, the final time. Paint with silver starlight the ancient songs in the night sky. Rain again, what never commenced comes to an end. Puerto Rico, ay bendito. So from a piece called Reading Japanese in Morocco. And it's called chunchuki, which is sushi. Sushi is sushi. It's chunchuki. It's not guacamole. Sure, by now you found out this wasabi shit. Hot sauce, that's some kind of vapor. It creates an implosion. It creates an implosion towards inward nostrils, tsunami. Next, as brain spills down your nostrils, turns you inside out. That first rush. Survive that. Proceed with the meal. I had some chuchuki in San Francisco, red kimono. She spoke Spanish. Books are paper. The wild timber stained trees in your hands. Wonder if they have lice, mealybugs, termites. In the Caribbean, books aging, heat, moisture, yellow spots, growth. Canzombero transmitted a delight through my North African icy fingers, hanging on to nip the butts, shoot the kids. Then the girl's small face appeared red with fever, and with the down from her cheeks to her ears shining golden. The no sense is non-logical. Sense it makes some sense. The no sense is non-logical. Sense it makes sense since in the cup of tea it is taste. Imagine, image rolls, flickering, measure, shape, colors, bud growing flowers. Music like the Zen spells of Koto Lung, Zidar meditations, bamboo by the river, wind flutes colored sounds. I've long trips gone with Basho, who is a swan, who is a road to the cherry blossom springs. The Spanish refrain, por si las moscas, mosquitoes, butterflies, sapo frogs, the chance knowledge comes suave on a wave of obvious invisibility. Geisha's secret better than the mafia. He rose like the waves of a fan within bread. Medina windows, new mountains, language fades, words diminish. As an alphabet sticks upon two little sapo frog legs, basho frog legs, splash. imparts a prose piece. It's called Latin American Dance. The Palladium, the big club here in New York called the Palladium, in the 50s. I think it closed out in 66. I never went, I was too young, and I missed it. But I knew people who went. The Palladium had a broad appeal amongst the hipsters, beatniks, jazz musicians, Italians and Jews were regular dancers on the floor. The musicians, Duke Ellington, Count Basie were spotted dancing with mambo beats. The singers, Billie Holiday and Ella Fitzgerald, perfect splendors, spotted in the stylish and glamorous dance hall at 53rd and Broadway. Everyone dressed to kill in suits and ties, proper shoes, well shined, with handkerchiefs in pockets or in hands. Women with can flares. Remember those can flares, ruffles, gowns, fancy purses. Wayne Shorter arrived and was inspired to create a tune called Palladium with his group Weather Report. The Palladium was the New York world of elegance. It was the pearl of the New York elegante Puerto Rican Latino world. Pedro Cuban Pete Aguilar was a Puerto Rican New Yorker whose family had taken a trip across the ocean way before the mass Puerto Rican exodus of the 40s and 50s. Perhaps they came on the famous Marine Tiger ships, which made so many trips from San Juan to New York, a migratory wave. Marintaya, full of jibaros, chickens, and boxes, guitars, in folks' arms singing, serenading the Atlantic waves, stopped near the broken Navy Yard, thus Williamsburg, the first Puerto Rican community in New York. Pedro Cuban Pete Aguilar tried his hands at boxing, till one day the Cuban singer Miguelito Valdez, who had been an amateur boxer himself, as well in his native Cuba, where he was born from a Cuban father and a Mexican Yucatec mother, had seen the young man dancing and advised him to join the dance competition. Pedro did, and he won $1,000. Wow, $1,000 in the 50s fell upon you. If $1,000 in the 50s fell upon you, you have some pasta. The young man turns attention to his discipline from boxing and from the ring, boxing and onto the dance floor. It was at the Palladium where this human charge of electricity broke out and the people paid attention. He scribbled with his legs, at times something approximating Lindy Hop, Charleston mixing the Caribbean with nitty-gritty Savoy ballroom, steps melting the tribes together, paying homage to the clave beat of the soul, beat of the mambo to Africa, mother culture of us all. He twisted and went into contortion, squatting and jumping, walking like a chicken, humming like a kangaroo. He trembled, tumbled, and turned himself inside out. He danced with the clave, that is, he followed the beat of the drum, and not the melody, which is the secret of the true Latin dancers. Pay attention to the discussion the tumbadora conga is having with the bongos and the maraca. Merge into the groove known as the martillito, the hammer, and throw your bone structure into it. It was at the Palladium that Pedro met the New York Italian girl named Millie Donay, and they danced a glove calligraphy around each other, loops and spins that took them all the way to the altar. Together on the floor at the Palladium, they sizzled, defined timing and coordination, a choreographic harmony and body language that very few people have been able to achieve since. The mambo from Cuba, the dance machine of the Americas, hit New York. Forget about it. The Palladium was the home of the mambo. I am eternally frustrated at time and space, for my age was that of a minor when all this fire was burning in New York. The Palladium had opened its doors in 1947, and its final curtain dropped in 1966. Then the dancers moved to the Corso Club on 86th Street, or over to the Kobe Gardens, and eventually became the Cheetah Club. Simultaneously with the Palladium, there was the El Club Tabarojeño, the Happy Hills Casino, the Park Palace in Spanish Harlem, but nothing compared with the nuclear adrenaline of the Palladium in New York. The Afro-American and Puerto Rican communities were one big dance party of the generations. Eventually continued with doo-wop and into hip-hop right out of the Afro-American Puerto Rican Bronx. Afro-Latino harvest dance of the imagination. With Ray Barrero, I to sing que viva la música. Muchas gracias.
Wow, thank you to Victor Hernandez Cruz and Sandra Cisneros for being here. Please everybody, join us in the back. We do have books for sale, and if you ask nicely, one of our writers may sign for you. Join us for refreshment, and thanks again for being here, and thanks to our writers and to our introducer.
Yeah, oh, my glasses. You know, you get